Welcome back to Relatable Wisdom, the podcast where everyday people share the quotes that shaped how they see life, offering you daily reminders that wisdom can be found in the most unexpected places. This guest is Brent Colbert, a veteran police officer and doctoral student in leadership. After 10 years on the force, he's witnessed both the worst and best of human nature, and now he's on a mission to transform leadership in law enforcement, one conversation at a time. Let's step into Brent's world and hear the quotes that's guided him through it all.
It's my pleasure to be here tonight.
Tell us your name and what you do.
My name is Brent Colbert. I run a podcast called the First Responder Playbook. I'm also a full-time police officer here in America.
Okay. What's your favorite quote?
My favorite quote is, behind the badge, there is a heart just like yours.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I guess will add that to the one you filled in the form previously, which was chase your dreams.
Yep. I think those two kind of go hand in hand, a little bit. Because a lot of times in America you hear that you chase your American dream, so to say, and mine was to get into law enforcement. And unfortunately, over the past 10 years, there's been a lot of negative press on law enforcement. And at the end of the day, every person is just a human like everybody else. They don't go to work wanting anything bad to happen. Um, they want to make sure everybody is safe and has a peaceful society.
Yeah. I just want you to take me like way back, right? What influenced you having the dream to become a law enforcement officer? Like of all the things you could have chosen, why that?
Honestly, growing up, I never really wanted to be a law enforcement officer. My dad was,
Okay.
and it never interested me. And I finally rode along with one of his officers, and it just kind of hit me. And here I am 10 years later. It's something new every day. And you see a lot of crazy stuff, but you also get to help a lot of people. And it's awesome to be able to, help people in their time of need.
Usually with movies, when they show a scene of a young guy who goes with on a drive with maybe some an uncle or any of those a member of the family, and then he's like, yeah, this is what I'm going to be. Usually I'll just call that stuff BS, and I'm like, nah, this stuff doesn't happen in real life. But here you are telling me that this is where the inspiration came from.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, it never was in my plans to be a police officer. My first love is I love the weather. Um, I wanted to be a meteorologist,
Okay.
and you know, I got pushed in a different direction, but at the same time, like I get to help somebody every day, and I enjoy every second of it.
Okay, chase your dreams. How on the matter of chase your dreams, how's the journey been like from like, oh, I want to be a officer, and now I'm a police officer. I mean, it wasn't just a switch of hands and boom, you became a police officer. There were things
No, it was
along the way.
yeah, it was actually a lot of stuff, a lot of obstacles thrown in my way to get into being a police officer. Um, it took a lot longer than I thought it would. Um, I started out, I don't know how familiar you are, but we have what they call a dispatcher, and they're the person that answers the phone calls
Yeah.
when somebody
On
is in
the
need.
radio. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I did that for several years, and you very quickly realize that you have to learn how to talk to people. Because people that's truly their moment of need is when they first make that call. And so you get to talk to people like when they're really emotional or something bad just happened, and you hear and see a lot of things that you probably really don't want to. But at the end of the day, that person gets the police officer there, or the ambulance, or the fire truck, and it took me a little bit longer to be an actual police officer than I wanted it to. But I felt like I was better prepared because I was able to be able to deal with those stressful situations once I got out there. Um, it's a very when I got into law enforcement, it was a very hard job to get into. Over the past 5 or 6 years, it seems like not as many people want to get into it because you see the bad things on TV and stuff like that. I promise that I don't think I've ever met a cop that intentionally wants something bad to happen to anybody. They actually always usually want to help somebody. And, my mission with my podcast is to get the good stories out that do happen because, like, at the end of the day, I want people to see that, we are human and those things that we see and do affect us as well. And we want to make sure that everybody has a peaceful society.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned earlier on that it took you longer than you expected. Well, can you go deeper into what that meant? Let's take a quick pause. If you're enjoying this conversation and want more thought-provoking ideas straight to your inbox, join the Relatable Wisdom email list. It's free, quick, and filled with bite-sized insights, inspiring quotes, and behind-the-scenes reflections from our guests. Just head to relatablewisdom.com/join. That is relatablewisdom.com/join, or tap the link in the show notes. And hey, subscribing to the podcast helps more than you think, and it's free. So if you haven't already, hit that follow button wherever you're listening. All right, let's get back to the conversation.
Yeah, I kind of just applied to a lot of places right off the bat. I was going to take the first police officer job that was offered to me, and for whatever reason, it wasn't in God's plan yet. And I would apply, and I had every qualification needed, and would do great on the tests, and I felt like I did good on the interviews, and it just didn't happen. I'd be applying at some of these places with like hundreds of people, and sometimes it's just tough to get in those jobs. But it doesn't. What it does do is builds a little bit of character in you, and it makes you want it more. If you want it that bad, you keep trying and you don't give up. And that's what I did. And now I've been fairly successful in it.
Oh, oh, okay. You said you fairly successful in it. What does that mean? Like when you say you're fairly successful?
I've been officer of the year before.
Oh,
Um,
congrats.
I've pretty much achieved the highest certificate level that you can receive in my state. But outside of personal awards, I'm happy in doing what I do every day.
Yeah.
To me, that's successful. I'm happy to go to work. It doesn't feel like a job. It feels like, going to have fun every day. And at the end of the day, I think that's what we want. We don't want to go to a job that we hate. And I get to do something I love every day.
Right now, usually I have the questions I would want to ask based on the format of the show. But I feel like I should ask you this question. Of all, how long have you been a cop officially, right?
11 years.
Okay. And in the course of this 11 years, what would you say is the most memorable good experience that kind of like restored your faith in humanity? It's not like the faith was lost before, but the good experience, not the terrible ones.
Yeah. We got to when I worked in a town police department. I currently work for a tribal agency, but we would have what they called Shop with a Cop with every Christmas, and we would raise money through the year to help kids in need at Christmas time. And we'd give them a certain amount of money and take them out, and they were less fortunate kids, and we got to help them out and make sure that they had a good Christmas. And it was just awesome to be able to see those kids that necessarily didn't really have a lot in life, and they were just so appreciative for us to be out there and like help them have a happy Christmas. And we got to see the parents just happy because I mean I've been there. It's stressful when you don't have a lot at Christmas time. You feel like a failure sometimes.
Yeah.
And we got to have a little bit of positivity for them around the holidays. So man, it was always great to be able to help out a little bit around the holidays because you get to see the smile on not just the kids' faces but the parents' faces too.
Well, thanks for sharing that, Brent. Just going back to the second quote you shared, which is more like the first, which is something. It has something to do with first responders. Can you say it again?
Yeah, absolutely. It's behind my badge is a heart like yours.
What is? What does that mean?
So, we wear a badge um, for each agency that you work at. I guess it's a symbol of authority that just says you're a police officer, and they're usually made of metal, and it's over your heart. And I think a lot of people look at police officers and think that they're there just to arbitrarily enforce the law and not care about people. But at the end of the day, there's a human heart behind that badge, and we do care, we do hurt, we do empathize with people. Sometimes we have a job to do, and it's not fun, but other times, we're there to try to help people as best we can, and we go through the same set of emotions as everybody else does.
Yeah. Yeah. Now that you explain it, it all makes sense. And I'm glad that you're doing the thing that you always wanted to do, which is to become a law enforcement officer. Because a lot of persons they have this dream, but for some reason they're just not doing it, right?
Yep.
And still on the subject of chasing your dreams, right? One of the quotes and the answers you gave when you filled the form was, "Never settle for the normal. Do what makes you happy or successful." And I'm curious to ask, what exactly is the norm? What exactly is normal?
I see a lot of times everybody gets comfortable in the job they're doing, and they settle for just staying, with what pays their bills, and they don't necessarily do what makes them happy. And life's too short to do a job that you hate and makes you miserable when you go home.
Yeah,
And so I highly encourage people, if you're able to find something that makes you happy when you go home, to don't chase that, just keep chasing that dream until you reach where you want to be at. And sometimes the path is tough, but the reward is worth it in the end.
yeah. Never settle for the normal. Do what makes you happy or successful, right? Uh, most uh, most people would say, because the thing about successful is that it's a varying definition oftentimes. Because one person you say, oh, he's not successful, but to him, based on the metrics and everything he has, he's exactly a success.
Yep. Success is in the eye of the beholder.
Mm, yeah, I like that. Okay, yeah. Thank you, Brent. Now you started a podcast, right? I just want us to talk a little bit about it. What's the name of the podcast?
It's the First Responder Playbook.
Okay, what's it about?
We talk about not just police matters, but we talk about fire and EMS. We talk about just major issues that are facing people in the job, like stuff, like stories that they've had happen to them, and just leadership topics in general. Because for far too long, we just accepted being average, and I want people to be able to see out there that there is really good people that can help elevate us as a profession even better than we are now. Um, and so I want to give a platform to those people to be able to get these great stories out of courage, of, the things that they see, this awesome trainings that they may host. And, so that way we can get this knowledge to the next generation of officers and be able to pass that along.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. Thanks for sharing with me your favorite quotes and for helping me make sense of it. I'm glad you're chasing your dreams. You did chase your
Absolutely.
dreams and you're still doing it. I guess chasing your dreams is it the thing is we'll always keep having dreams, right? So it's more like chasing your dreams, not like chase your dreams. It's not like a one-time thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. If my listeners, where can my listeners learn more about you and what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. I've got a Facebook page, I've got an Instagram, I've got a TikTok, I've got a YouTube channel, and they're all the First Responder Playbook. And I would love to have your listeners, the ones all over across the world, because at the end of the day, everybody has a story to tell. And that's why I love, actually, that's why I reached out to your podcast, because I love what you're doing, because these favorite quotes and the wisdom is what gives people hope. You know,
Yeah.
when times get tough, you fall back on those things that you remember. And so it really resonated. You were actually one of the first people I messaged when I got on this platform.
Wow, how did you even
Uh,
find me?
Yep. It popped up on
Ooh,
on
wow.
Podmatch, and you were one of the first people I messaged, and I truly mean that. And like, I really enjoy what you're doing, and if I can do a little bit, just a piece of what you're doing, I'll be successful. And so yeah, I would love to
Ah,
have your
you're
listeners check.
flattering me.
Yeah, I
It's
would
all
love to
right.
have your listeners check out, and just give me good feedback because I'm new in the game, and I'm sure there's something I can do better. But I would love to have everybody at least give me an opportunity to listen.
Yeah, it's nice that you mentioned that, and I would be sure to add the links and all the other things in the show notes. And so if they're listening or they're watching, they can all check the description and the show notes and get a direct link to all the platforms Brent has mentioned on the podcast.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You've been listening to Relatable Wisdom, and I've been your host, Wisdom Okonkwo. You've been listening to the podcast where every story, quote, and insight helps you see life a little differently. If you enjoyed today's episode, follow the show on your favorite podcast app and share it with someone who loved the conversation. For more inspiring voices and timeless wisdom, visit relatablewisdom.com. Until next time, keep living, learning, and collecting wisdom that matters most to you.